Good morning. Happy Friday. We're back. We're going to preview that sold-out LSU Auburn game happening tomorrow. But before we get there, we do have some I'm just going to give a quick rundown of what's going on this weekend. Not too much of an update since yesterday, but women's basketball, just to let y'all know, is number one in ESPN's top 25 rankings. They also have sold-out season tickets. We talked about it yesterday about them going to Vegas for that Hall of Fame series. You're not going to find that anywhere else. The numbers are showing it. The rankings, the ticket purchases. It's going to be a good season, I feel. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back-to-back. This weekend, volleyball plays tonight. They will face A&M. They lost to Arkansas last week, lost to Tennessee this weekend. Both of those teams were ranked. They're looking to bounce back. They're 2-3 in the SEC. They want to even out that record, so they'll play in the PMAC tonight. It is the breast cancer survivor game, and that'll start at 8. Soccer is coming off a big win over Tennessee. They are now 3-3 in the SEC. They are facing number 24 Bama tonight in Alabama, but we'll have an update on that game on Monday. Baseball scrimmages today at 3:30. They had one yesterday. They'll have another one on Sunday at 12:30. That is open to the public. Feel free to swing by. And basketball, men's basketball, has an open practice in the PMAC from 1 to 2:30 tomorrow. So if you're tailgating, want to swing by and see what the men's team looks like, feel free to do that at 1 o'clock. Okay. Quick rundown. We're going to get straight into it. Before we do, I do want to thank everybody for the support on the merchandise that we released yesterday. Got a lot of good feedback. We're also open to any suggestions, but really, really appreciate y'all's support for everyone who bought something, for everyone who shared it, any of the posts. We appreciate that a lot. All right, Trey Gallman is on the purple couch today. He's got a new look. Was your haircut the last time you
Yeah, the last time I came on, I just got it cut like the day before.
Shit, I can't remember. He can't stay away.
I couldn't. Yeah, we were just talking about the fact that, like, for some reason I said I wasn't going to be back for a while, but we keep getting, like, private parties and shows. So it's like, I mean, I'm here for a day. Might as well.
Yeah, I know. He texted me. He's like, you need anybody on the purple couch? I was like, I would love to have you on the purple couch.
Well, that's not exactly how she said it. She was like, nah, we're good. And I was like, okay, cool.
No, I did not say
and then
we're good.
Then she hit me back up and she was like, we would love to have you. He's like, good, I already planned on it. Wasn't taking no for an answer on that one.
You're capping right now. Whatever.
Straight capping.
All right, y'all ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
LSU Auburn rivalry game. Did you know that they don't play Auburn next year?
Yep.
Yeah, this is last year because of the new schedule.
Yeah.
Funk. I hate it.
That's kind of sad after, 32 years, consecutive years, I think?
Something like that.
32 seasons?
Yeah.
Well,
I wish this year we were playing in Auburn so we can smoke one last cigar on their field. But
that would be pretty sick. Yeah, that would be sick.
Oh, so you think LSU comes out on top on this one?
I mean, what are we talking about?
I'm just saying. You made it very clear just now. Okay, PFF came out with some stats. Jayden Daniels is the highest graded quarterback on 20-plus yard throws. Malik Nabers on 20-plus yard throws has 11 catches. He's first in the nation, I believe, as well as 362 yards, also first in the nation, has a 97.3 receiving grade, first in the nation. This offense is high-powering. We know that. Go ahead.
One more guy. Brian Thomas Jr. has the most touchdown receptions in the nation.
There you go. I missed that one. Shit. Just to give you a little breakdown before we start talking about how this game is going to look, LSU's offense averages 550 yards per game. I think we kind of knew that just looking at the past couple games, but that's the number. 550 yards. That's a lot. But Auburn's defense allows just 322 yards per game. They're also second in the SEC for forced turnovers. They've had 10 in 5 games. And they've got a good cornerback in Jaylin Simpson. If he's healthy, I think I don't know that you see as high-powering of an offense as we've seen before because of that. This is one of the best defenses that we've faced so far. Brian Kelly said that yesterday. What do you expect this matchup to look like between an offense that has put up so many yards, so many points, and a defense that has the capability of stopping that?
I'm kind of looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good test for this offense. I mean, we've already established Jayden Daniels is him, Michael Thomas is him, Malik Nabers is him. Like, at this point, we sat here 3 weeks ago and we said we want to keep seeing the offense do this to improve, do this to improve. At this point, we're halfway into the season. There is, like, just go out and play ball. That's how I feel about the offense at this point. Because, I mean, you just saw against Missouri, just put the team on your back and go win the damn game. Like, whoever's got the ball last, hopefully we hold it down, win the game. The thing I'm more excited to see is that our defense is our defense, and Auburn's offense is not that good. So, like, that's the thing I'm looking forward to seeing, really.
Yeah, our defense is ranked 121st.
In pass defense.
And yes, our pass defense. Their passing offense is also ranked 121st. So
it's a battle of the beatings, baby.
Yeah,
Let's go.
literally. This is going to be so interesting to see. I do want to get more into the defense, but Joe, I know you have some thoughts on the offense as well.
Yeah, look, we can say over and over that this is the best defense we will have played. I disagree. I think Florida State's the best defense that we played, and we played them in week 1.
I said one of the best.
Yeah,
one of the best.
For sure. But I do think Florida State's the best defense that we will have played up to this point. Auburn probably second best. That being said, this is the best offense we've seen since 2019. Not close. We're on pace to have 2,000-yard receivers. That's Malik, Nabers, and Brian Thomas Jr.
Right.
We're on pace to have a 4,000-yard passer. Including postseason, a 4,000-yard passer in Jayden Daniels and 2,000-yard rushers in Logan Diggs and Jayden Daniels.
Right.
So, I mean, elite offense. I think if you're not running out a top 5 defense, you're not keeping LSU below 30 points. That's my
I agree with that
opinion.
100%. 100% I agree with that.
I'm not saying that this is going to be like you're going to see the wheels fall off of the offense and they're going to be exposed this week. But I am posing the question that is it going to continue, or did we just see this in a couple games and things are going to – I know Jayden had like a little – he's so tough, bro. The rib injury and stuff.
That's my biggest question.
No, Brian Kelly said yesterday that basically he met with they have captains meetings on Mondays. Jayden's the captain. And they checked in on him like, hey, man, like, what do we need to do with the injury? He's like, he's good. They've been monitoring it all week, but he's been playing through it. Now, again, he's been playing through it in practice. Is it going to affect his ability to play in the game? We don't know. We won't know until they're playing tomorrow. But from what we've heard in the room, he's good to go. So that's promising. We do have 2 of the best receivers in the country. They have a very good corner. And I don't know if he's playing. I know his status was up in the air. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup to see Jaylin Simpson versus our wide receivers. You did mention the defense, and that's probably more of the talking point here because, again, 121st pass D versus 121st passing attack. What does this look like? Is it LSU catches a break and they're actually able to get some confidence up on an offense that can't pass the ball but just doesn't do it well? Or is it Auburn's going to finally get things going because LSU's defense can't get it together?
Well, I do want to say one thing to go back to the rib stuff real quick. As long as we can keep him on his feet, we already know Jayden's going to run the ball and he's not going to get out of bounds, so he's going to take some licks there.
Yeah.
But as long as we can keep him on his feet in the passing game, we'll be solid. Need the offensive line to play a good game. To the defensive thing. Okay, let's look at the one silver lining of, like, the Missouri game, right? So you got the pick. You got, 2 picks in the game?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Awesome. We had 6 stops in the game. Wow, that's a lot more than we had the game before. 0, 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would love to see the defense come out and play more zone. Once they went to zone and they ditched the man last week, they seem to have a little bit more success against Mizzou. I'd like to see them do that again this week, build on that. But one thing I'm tired of seeing, I think T-Bob said it first, but I agree 100%, is like the celebration thing, dude. Like, they don't have the right to celebrate right now. Like, there's incomplete pass, seatbelt, lockdown. Don't know. You can't do that right now. Like when Mason Smith batted the ball down and was like, yeah, I'm here, I'm him. You don't get to do that.
Right.
You don't, just because, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not. So just go out and play football. Like, they brought Pete Jenkins back in as, to help out. So let's see this defensive line do what we've been asking the defensive line to do. Get after the quarterback. Let's see these linebackers do what they got to do. And, dude, the secondary, we got what we got. Just protect them.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think Pete Jenkins even told Brian Kelly this week, he had walked up to him and was like, this is probably the most committed defensive line that I've worked with. They are so committed to getting better, which is promising to hear, considering they're going to have to be on their A game because Auburn's going to run. What do I need to do? You can say it on air if I'm not talking into my mic.
That's much better.
Perfect. Sorry, guys. But I guess Auburn's strategy here is more of my question. Is it going to take the D-line, taking the air out of the defense, rushing the quarterback, making sure that Jarquez Hunter is not running all over them, or are they is Auburn's offense going to look to throw the ball on a secondary that struggles? Like, what do you think this strategy looks like?
What do you think on this one? I'm curious on your take.
Yeah, I think it's one thing to try and take advantage of a struggling secondary if you have an equipped offense.
But Brian Kelly, and I don't mean to cut you off, but this was a question addressed in the press conference yesterday. And he said, don't get it twisted. They are a run-first offense, but they are capable of throwing the ball. Now, they've chosen not to do that, and they are clearly better on the ground, but they can throw the ball. So, and they're aware of that. LSU is aware of that. But I guess we won't know until tomorrow again, but I don't know their strategy of coming into this, facing this LSU defense.
I think they're going to go sideline. I really think they're going to, like, how do you beat teams? The proof is in the pudding. It's on film. Everything's on film. How has LSU been beat so far? Stretching the field, going sideline to sideline. I think, Ole Miss did it. I think Auburn's really going to – maybe it's not their identity this year, but I think Auburn's going to try and stretch the field and make the guys run.
100%. That's exactly what they did against Georgia. They started the game early. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead because they focused heavy on the read option, and that includes Peyton Thorne. And so you made the point that – You made the point that Auburn is capable of throwing the ball around the field. I would say that they have capable receivers, they have capable pass catchers, and their run game is good enough to open up the pass game if necessary. But look at how underused Keon Coleman was at Michigan State last year with Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne he's not an elite quarterback by any means. Is he capable? Sure. But I think it plays much better to Auburn's favor if they go out there and come out with the exact same strategy they had against Georgia. Because our defense is not Georgia's defense.
No, not.
To say the least.
And so they come out there, they let Peyton Thorne carry the ball a little bit, and then now you can't crash. You can't crash anymore because now you have to respect Peyton Thorne in the edges. And then that opens up the inside lanes for Jarquez Hunter, and we already really struggle against zone read.
This is what I was going to say. He's a dual threat quarterback. He uses his feet a lot. LSU has struggled with that. What does this defensive line need to tighten up and be on their A game with in order to keep that from happening?
Go ahead.
I think the D-line's just got to play sound gap responsible football, and I think Pete's going to have those guys dialed in that aspect. But, think about there's been 3 or 4 plays off the top of my head this year talking about the guys on the edge against zone read where they've crashed down hard. And like you just brought up, we're not going to be able to crash. And guys, it's really just going to come down to gap, sound, responsible defense first and foremost, and just seeing the guys in the middle get the pressure. If they can't get pressure on the middle, then it doesn't matter what Harold Perkins is doing on the edge anyway.
I think Did I just cut you off?
No,
I'm
not
so
at all.
sorry.
My thought process is exactly that. It's like the main thing for me is we can sit here and talk about the same things over and over and over and beat the dead horse. But if there's one obvious above all the others that we haven't talked about as much, it's exactly what you just brought up, and it's the same thing we've been battling. Auburn jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Missouri jumped out to a lead. Ole Miss jumped out to a lead. Florida State jumped out to a lead. Everybody's jumped out to a lead on us all season, and we've been battling back. We've got an offense that's that good. How about to protect that defense, let's keep that offense on the field. Let's get up early. Let's run the football. Let's still put up 500 yards a game, but let's control the clock too and not have to be like, oh, let's hurry up and score. 5 plays, touchdown. I love to see 5 plays, 75 yards, minute and a half. Well, guess what? You just put the defense back on the field for another 10-play drive where you're like, oh, fingers crossed right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, your offense is strong suit of your team. Find a way to keep the offense on the field. The best defense is a good offense. That's my stance on it.
So I agree with the premise of your statement, but I don't know if controlling the clock is necessarily the answer. I think with an offense as powerful as ours, with the ability to go score as quickly as we do, I think your best strategy against Auburn is to make them play from behind. So
absolutely. To jump out to a lead, no doubt about it. Yeah, of course I want to see them jump out to a lead. But when I say control the clock, I don't mean old school Les Miles ground and pound the football. I don't mean that. Let me say that. I mean okay, we're up by 10 points. Let's not be in such a hurry to go down the field and score, or have a quick 3 and out. Let's just, hey, guys, we don't have to run a fastball offense, a NASCAR offense right here. We can take the full 30 seconds to call the best play and then, throw it down the field to Nabers, throw it to Michael Thomas, throw it to Lacey, let whoever run the football. But we don't have to be like, okay, hurry, hey, we're up by 10, hurry up. We don't have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I do understand what you're saying. I just think whenever you have an offense like with Malik Nabers, with Brian Thomas, like it's just you have so many options on that offense that just because you don't have to run a fast-paced offense doesn't mean you shouldn't if that's what you do the best.
Yeah, I guess I get that. And I think it's just like learning to accept the whole principle that we're watching a team that's like old school Oregon or we're not – like LSU is not playing traditional LSU football, and maybe I am still stuck in the Stone Age a little bit of thinking that way. Because remember in 2019, we were having these same conversations about, the offense is high powered, they score too fast, the defense doesn't have time to take a break. Well, we won a national championship with that team.
Yeah.
So what are we really complaining about?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so to clarify, what are the keys here? Like what needs to happen or needs to come from LSU in order to make sure that this is a win?
I want to see the offense come out, put them points up. I want to see special teams play solid because this game always is a sleeper special teams battle somehow. Something can happen, whether it's just the field position with punts, whether it's a big return, maybe not for a touchdown, but just being able to flip the field, in this game. And then also the defense just coming out in the front seven, keeping the quarterback at bay a little bit, not letting him just run and gun as he pleases.
Yeah, I think offensively, look, if Auburn sets the tone and they can run their offense how they want to run it, utilize Peyton Thorne, utilize Jarquez Hunter, I think that speaks trouble for LSU. So I think you need to make them play from behind, make Peyton Thorne make the play in the passing game to catch up. If you put them in that kind of bind, it gets a lot more difficult for Auburn. Defensively. Look, we have the 121st passing defense in the country. You have nothing to lose. Nobody expects you to go out there and play a top 10 game in the passing defense. So, in my opinion, play a base cover 2, man up your outside corners, and let the linebackers play free. If they can get home, get pressure on Peyton Thorne, slow down Jarquez Hunter between the B gaps, then I think that one is going to instill confidence in the front seven and increase the pressure for Auburn in the passing game. If your offensive scheme works how it's supposed to and they're having to play catch-up.
Right. Exactly. I think the biggest thing is exactly what you said, playing catch-up. If you let them play to their game plan, then everything we just said goes out the window. Everybody got a game plan. They get punched in the mouth, so hopefully we throw the first punch.
Yeah.
Traditionally, this game is pretty physical. I know Brian Kelly talked about how physical Auburn's team can be. Do you think that trend continues? Because we've struggled with that. There's been times where, as a fan, I know, Joe, you've brought it up. You're like, why didn't you protect your quarterback there? Like, get mad. Like, sometimes we lack that a little bit, and we get a little bit soft. And it's gotten better throughout the season, but does it continue this week with a physical Auburn team? Or do they come out and match Auburn?
I think because of this has always been a super physical game. For years. It's never been a major rivalry game, but it's always been a key swing game in the SEC West, and it still is that for this LSU team this year. And also with the changing of the schedule, and this is the last time we're going to play Auburn for the foreseeable future, I think there's going to be a lot of passion in that as well. Maybe not for the younger guys, but for the older players. They're going to be like, let's go at it one more time kind of thing. So I think it will be a physical game. I think it'll be a passionate game. I think there's a lot to be said about that underlying thing of the losing them on the schedule. Like, I think there's going to be more to it than you think. And, like, we've talked about Coach Frank Wilson and we've talked about Brian Kelly and we've talked about LSU's coaching staff and how they go into every game and how they approach it. There's still going to be that idea that, okay, this is one of the best defenses we've gone against this year that has a solid run defense and they're solid in all phases. So let's go out. Yeah, we're going to put points up. We're going to do what we do. But don't think they're not still going to try and run the ball just to, any chance, if Frank Wilson has to say so, they're going to try and bully.
100%.
Any chance.
100%. And Logan Diggs has been a big part of this offense, too. Like I said, he's on pace to rush for 1,000 yards.
Absolutely.
So I'm not at all saying that we shouldn't do that.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is so off topic. You just said Logan Diggs. Somebody asked in the press conference, and if this was your question, nothing wrong with it. If Emory Jones, John Emory would be like, he's available obviously, but if he would get more playing time, I don't know why that was a question, because Logan Diggs has done so great for this team as RB1. Is there like, I guess my question would be like,
why would they ask that question?
I don't want to come off that way, but like, if Logan Diggs is doing what he's doing right now, what's the concern there?
My only thought, the only reason why you could maybe justify that question is just because John Emory was supposed to be all that in a bag of chips whenever he got to LSU, and he hasn't really been that. But for whatever his reasons have been, this year you thought he was going to maybe kind of be the guy, and then you see Logan Diggs come in and kind of become the bell cow for the offense. Maybe it's just somebody's question of, like, why isn't he playing whenever the simple answer is right in front of him? Like, I mean, the best man's going to play. He's a compliment to the offense. That's exactly what
Brian Kelly said. He was like, they're all ready to go.
Yeah.
But when it comes time, it's going to be the guy who's going to get it done. Right now it's Logan Diggs. If something changes, it'll be somebody else.
Yeah, whoever's got the hot hand. It might be Josh Williams one game. It might be John Emory one game. I mean,
I think Logan Diggs has been so good, and he falls forward, and he runs hard, and he hits the gap, and he accelerates, and all of the things that you need in a back. But what he is behind John Emory in my opinion, is John Emory's got the top end speed that Logan Diggs does not. And so if you're looking for the home run play, you're in a battle of a game against a defense that is more capable of stopping you on a repetitive basis, as opposed to look, if you're facing a defense that you feel confident that as long as we get this first down, we can keep getting first downs, Logan Diggs is your guy. Go get 3 yards. Go get 4 yards. Make them pay for it. If you're struggling to find movement in the offense, you need your fastest running back on the field so that when the home run presents itself, you can go take it.
Right.
Yes, but also the same, like, to double down with that, something that because, everybody self-scouts. And I haven't self-scouted LSU very much. Y'all might have a better answer than me, but, like, we're getting to the point in the season where tendencies are being established. So with this running back room, we know what running back can do what. What I don't want to see is that if John Emory comes in the game, it's like, it's either a third down protection or he's getting out in a check down or he has some sort of route or it's an outside zone instead of an inside zone play. Like, because what's going to happen is we get further and further into the season, and we're at the halfway point now. All of a sudden, I mean, we used to do the same thing. Is guys, if certain guys went in the game, it's like, okay, their playbook just went down to this big because this player only runs this many of the plays. As long as we can keep that open to where we don't become nailed down to, okay, first down is this back, second down is this back, third and long is this back, and he only runs these plays. Third and short is this back, he only runs these plays.
Right.
As long as the running backs can be competent enough to all of them hold all the roles, then we'll be okay. As far as, like, keeping the offense wide open and not getting nailed down to one identity, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so now for the fun part. Score predictions.
I want you to go first on this one.
Okay.
You always say that. You always make the other person go first.
Well, okay. Yeah. Duh.
Okay, Joe. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, but before I get into my score prediction, I want to go back to the physicality thing for just 1 second. Look, we're entering the back half of the regular season. As crazy as that feels to say.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's flying.
Yeah. So we're going into Game 7. At this point, as unfortunate as it is, it feels like the defense has lost the fan base. You see a lot of that on Instagram. You see a lot of that on Twitter. And so I think that's almost a very, while it's not a good thing, I think it's a very freeing thing for the athletes on the defense. Trey, you can speak to this a little bit, but I think when they stop playing for, the opportunity to be the hero or to get the love on social, and they just start playing for each other, whether the level of play increases, I don't know, but I think the physicality and the being there for your brother takes a step up. Trey, you have anything on that?
I think that's a super cool perspective that I didn't think about. I think you're right. This should be, if this defense is worth their salt at all, this should be a defense that is jaded at the moment by the fan base, by their own doing, of course. But I never thought about that. But they have nothing to lose at this point. So I heard an interesting stat talking about, like, let's talk about a goal of what this defense should do. We're 121st right now?
Yeah.
Let's get into the top 80 by the end of the year, like the mid-80s, okay? To put that in perspective, who do you think the 83rd worst defense in the country is? The USC Trojans.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody
Really?
talks about them being abysmal. Like, oh, Notre Dame might beat USC because USC's defense is so bad. We're, 40 spots behind them. Let's just break into the top 80, and I think like that's a good point in the season. Don't go out and be Superman. Don't go out and try and do anything special. And I think it kind of goes with what I was saying about the celebration thing. Put all of it to bed. Just go out, play for your brother, play for a win, play for your personal goals.
Quit looking for the validation from the fan base and from the networks and stuff. And you know what? Sage Ryan in pressers this week was one of the guys who talked about that exactly, like playing for each other, learning from each other, doing individual jobs. You're seeing slow progress, and I think that has become the mindset where, like, okay, we're 7 weeks in now. Like, we know we're not going to be the best defense here. Like, let's just do what we can do and start playing for the right reasons. And I think that has become more of a focus for them, for sure.
As it should. Should.
I think we see a little bit of what's the word? I don't want to say progress, but I think we see better play this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have to.
Up. Yeah. All right, score predictions. I'm going to go, like I said, I do think this is one of the better defenses we've played. I'm going 38-31 Tigers. Well, the good guys. We're both Tigers.
I was going to say, this is the second week in a row both teams are Tigers.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I didn't even think about it like that.
It's a little
That
nugget.
is cool. So that's why I wore my Jeffrey Dahmer glasses today.
Oh my
because
God.
it's gonna be a tiger murder. You know,
Dude.
that's why I wore my Dahmers. Don't ask questions. Don't look in the freezer. Tigers, baby.
Which ones?
LSU, of course. I'm going. So this is what I meant. So the over 60, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking the over. What's the spread? 11.
11.5.
Okay.
It opened as 12.5.
Okay, so this is what I mean by
LSU's favorited, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is what I meant earlier by it's going to be one of those bad beats at the end of the game. LSU 38-28. They're going to win by 10. Auburn's going to get some trash points at the end. That's going to be the bad beat to not cover, for LSU to not cover the spread. But I'm going Tigers by 10. I think Auburn's defense is good enough to hold them under 40, but hopefully our defense can hold them under 30.
Abby, what did I say whenever that line opened up at 12.5? I said LSU money line, Auburn to cover, bet the over.
Yeah.
That's it. Look, this is three weeks in a row. This is 3 weeks in a row now that I said not going to cover, take the over. And luckily they covered last week just because of the pick six late in the game, but that was just a bad beat too. So, look, I'm not saying I'm a betting man, but I might need to start betting a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, you could help me out because I've been cold as shit. But
Abby, I want your pick.
No.
Come on, give me one. You haven't given one yet all season. It's your turn.
I won't give a prediction, but I will say I would take the spread. I would take the spread.
You take LSU to cover?
Yeah. Before the game, before this conversation, I was going to take the under. And I know that sounds crazy because LSU has they've hit the over, 4 weeks in a row, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. And maybe it's because I'm on a sports betting show and I'm just so cold that I'm like, I don't know how to make decisions anymore. I'm going to take the over just solely after this conversation.
We're good at what we do.
Yeah.
Convincing.
Okay, well, they better hit the over if I put money on it. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to be pissed if not.
Well, you said you're cold. It's time to flip it around. Whatever you thought you were going to do, flip it.
That's. I'm just fading myself at this point, so it's fine. Okay, that was fun. Gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna round out with Tiger T, Sha'Carri Richardson, and Mondo Duplantis, former LSU track and field superstars, have been named nominees for the World Athlete of the Year in both men and women's. There's 11 nominees across the board. They competed at the World Athletic Championships in Budapest. Both of them went off. Richardson received gold in the 100-meter, bronze in the 200-meter, and then gold again in the relay. Duplantis was named world champion for pole vault. He also went to the Diamond League finals in Eugene, Oregon. Won the meet, clocked his 7th world record. It's
wild.
Insane. 7 world records. He has already won this award in 2020 and 2022 for the men's category. Could make it a third time. Fans are actually able to vote. They have a percentage of the votes. So if you want to go vote for former Tigers to win this award, you can go to the World Athletics social media platforms. They're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, and Facebook. And one like or retweet equals a vote. Voting closes October 28th. The final 5 women, 5 men will be announced on November 13th and 14th, and then the final winner will be revealed December 11th. Super cool to see both of them. I know Mondo's been like
dude, he is him.
Insane. Yeah. And the family he comes from is super athletic. I mean think of Antoine with baseball, his parents, like incredible. 7 world records.
Genetics.
Do
you even, if it's 7 world records and he keeps beating his own, do you call it 7 world records, or you just say just world record holder? Like, how does that work? Like, yeah, I hold the world record.
Yeah, but technically he beat the world record.
He beat his own record 7 times.
Like, it was the world record.
Like, is there anybody that's even, like, has anybody even come close enough to beat the first world record he broke 7 times ago?
I don't
like,
know.
is he just, it's like, oh, look at
it's crazy.
The best pole vaults of all time. Boom, 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 boom. All him.
Mondo Duplantis.
All Mondo, all the way down.
Sha'Carri with freaking 3 medals at the World Athletic Championships.
She's fast as shit.
Yeah. Love her. That's all we got. We will be doing a vlog tomorrow. Make sure to let us know where y'all be. We'll get you in there. Come see us at the balcony. Come see us at Fred's. Maybe the Rev after the game. But we appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all soon.